Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll help the channel out and it'll get you more videos like this. Let's get to it. And our first one comes from Faye Magic. Am I the beehole for kicking my wife's sister out for staying with her boyfriend? A year ago, my wife and I took her younger sister, a 21-year-old, who soon we'll call Kate. We took Kate in because she was living with our parents, who in all these years didn't teach her the skills necessary to be an adult. Driving, holding down a job, cooking that doesn't involve a microwave, etc., etc. Kate wanted to move in with us because she saw how my wife overcame these same challenges from their parents. Kate moved in last July, and over the last year, there were a lot of growing pains, but she slowly made progress. She got a job, she got established with doctors and therapists. Parents rarely took them to appointments. She got into a college for the upcoming fall semester. We had to fight hard for her financial aid because she's been disowned by her parents since leaving. She was doing relatively well with house chores and learning to cook. We are legitimately proud. Kate got a boyfriend, and we've had a lot of issues surrounding him. If she could go over to his place whenever she wanted, she would go over there all the time and not keep up on her responsibilities. The boyfriend was allowed to come over to our house until he mumbled under his breath about kicking my arse. Okay, get the hell out of my house. After I told him off for not taking Kate to the ER the day before when she asked him to, while she was staying the night at his dorm, I kicked him out and banned him from the house after that. Good. Kate's boyfriend is in college and goes back home on a good ways tomorrow. Kate told us last week that she wanted to stay with him over the summer. We told her that was a really bad idea because she was throwing away a lot of what she worked for this year. She saw reason and decided it was a better idea to stay here and keep her job and keep working at our goals. Well, every time she would go and see the boyfriend, she would come back again saying she wanted to stay with him over the summer, and after talking to us would again decide not to. Because he is leaving tomorrow, she spent the last few nights over at his dorm room. She texted my wife at 3 a.m. that she was going to stay with her boyfriend for this summer, and that was her final decision. So I told her, okay, I'm disappointed in that, but you're an adult. If that's your final decision, then come get your stuff out of my house and take us off your financial aid because we're not going to let you move back in with us in the fall. We did just not spend a year working with you to have you restart all over again in August. I told her to go ahead and call her job in the AM to let them know she quits because she's no longer our responsibility and we're not busing her to work in the morning. OP, I believe you've handled this situation the best way that you can. She is an adult. And she needs to make, and she can make her own decisions, you know what I mean? You can't control her. And if she wants to make a foolish and stupid decision like this, by ruining all the progress you guys have done, you are well within your right to tell her to get the hell out. She basically spit in your face because you guys didn't have to devote your time and energy to helping her out, and she moved in with you guys to, follow in her sister's footsteps and break the chain. But she seems like she's a pushover, and this guy knows it, and he's manipulating her. I'm sorry that the second, if I'm dating someone, they tell my family member who's helping me, I'll kick your ass, that person's done. I'm not bringing that, I don't want that person around me. But you guys showed her a lot of love, but sadly that's not the right type of love you need to show her. It looks like she needs some tough love. She needs to feel the consequences of her foolish decision. And let's be honest, that boyfriend's gonna use her up and toss her away. And then she's gonna come crawling back to you guys. And when she does that, I would say no. Because she knew what would happen. She needs to deal with the consequences of her actions. And she needs to hit rock bottom to put a shock to her system and wake her up and say, I really need to change. I really need to stick to it. And I need to toughen up and stop being a pushover when bad influences approach me. Because this is an obvious one. She shouldn't be dealing with this idiot. She needs to work on, getting her life built up. So OP, no, you're not in the wrong. And that sucks. Like, I'd be rooting for her to, break the chains like that. That's a shame. And our next one comes from Immediate Piano 2045. Am I in the wrong for making my parents replace my toys they just decided to give away? I'm moving to another city for work. Since I'm an adult and not a college kid, I hired movers. My parents insisted on coming down to help me pack up. I live in their basement suite. It was cheap and they let me have my privacy. They brought my brother and my nephew. The four of them were as helpful as a bag of used condoms, especially my nephew. My parents decided to keep him busy by giving him one of my Lego sets to play with. I collect them. What I usually do is buy two of the same. Damn, dude, you got double Lego money? Rolling in it. I built one, put it up for display, and leave the other one in the box to trade or sell. He took it upstairs to stay out of the way, and then he took it home. All I noticed is that it was out from underfoot. The next day, I saw the box in the garbage. I didn't assume. I knew the answer already, but I didn't assume. I went upstairs to talk to them. I asked them where the Lego box came from. They said they gave it to Travis to keep him busy. I told them that they needed to replace it. They said I was being childish for caring about a toy. A toy doesn't matter if it's a toy, it's his property, but okay. I said they could replace it or I'd file an insurance claim. That would probably require a police report. My dad got angry. He pulled out $70 and told me I was a beehole for making a fuss over a toy. I asked him if that was the down payment. He said, "This is what I spent on the last Lego gift he gave me for Christmas, and that this is what the hell those helmets cost." I showed him the box. I told him to keep his money. He just had to give me a sealed box like the one he stole. He said he didn't steal anything. Yes, he did. He took the box and went to the Lego store nearby. When he came back, he was apologetic. He said he would get it back from my nephew. I said I wanted a sealed box. I get it. I build little models, and models are useless if they're already built, and I don't want the Lego's already built. But back to it. With the TIE Fighter helmet, I even went to eBay to help him find a cheaper one. Ooh, it's Star Wars. Back in the day, they're probably expensive. They probably still are expensive, but Star Wars is kind of in the crapper, so it might be a little lower now. Then he found out by himself that the collectible store guy at the Lego store sent him to. With shipping, it would come to be about $300. He ordered it. He isn't happy about it. My mom is upset that I'm expecting that much money for a toy. I hate that. I hate it when adults, your parents, older people, "Oh, it's just a toy, who cares?" Doesn't matter if it's a toy, it's yours. And those things appreciate in price. The things I collect are I'm gonna say it wrong, kotobukiya, I believe it is. They make really nice models of characters, video games, comic book characters, and they're affordable. They're like 40, 50, 60 bucks. And as soon as those sell out, those get jacked up to like 200 bucks real quick. My dad is upset that I didn't explain before that he went and made a fool of himself at the store. I'm upset that they stole from me. Am I the beehole? No, you were not the beehole. What if that wasn't your parents, OP? What if that was a friend or something that went over there, stole your $300 Lego set, built it and opened it and built it so it made it useless for trade or resale, and just went, whatever, I'll give you 70 bucks for it. That'd piss you off too, right? I know if that was my parents, they'd reimburse me. Well, if it was my parents, they wouldn't touch it, just like I wouldn't touch their stuff. And on top of that, all of this could have been avoided because, like you said, you hired movers and they weren't needed. They didn't even need to be there and have this whole situation even transpire. And then, when you confront them for stealing, they start to belittle you, like, "Oh, what adult plays with toys?" Well, what adult plays baseball? Isn't that a game for children? What adult likes football? Isn't that just a child's game? You know what I mean? People need to look at it through the lens of their own thing. Because we all have our childish side. We all have our things that, we like that people judge, which sucks. But no, OP, they came into your place, stole your expensive item, and then tried to, tell you, "Oh, here's 70 bucks." So no, OP, you are not the beehole. I would have been pissed too if they took one of my model kits and built it. That's that's the fun. That's the biggest part of a model kit. I know Lego isn't a model kit, but it kind of is. You take the small parts, build it into a bigger piece. So yeah, it's kind of like a model kit. They robbed the fun of that, or took your ability to resell it and make probably a nice profit. Our final one comes from Big Bullfrog 8020. Am I the beehole for bringing home a generic product versus the name brand when I was asked to bring? This seems so silly to me, but it comes as such a big deal. I have to ask. Last weekend, my girlfriend family hosted a barbecue. I was always raised to never show up anywhere with empty-handed, so I asked my girlfriend's mom what I could bring. She asked that I grab some Cool Whip for the dessert she was making. Easy enough. I figured it wouldn't be too hard to find, so I decided to wait until morning to grab it on my way there. Well, I get to the store about 20 minutes before the barbecue starts, and they're somehow out of the name brand. They did, however, have the store's brand, whip topping. As I did not have time to go to another grocery store, I just bought the generic brand and headed off. Upon arrival, handed the bag to my girlfriend's mom. She opens it, looks inside, and gets a weird look on her face. She asks where the Cool Whip is. I say the store is out, but this is pretty much the same thing, right? She looks a little irritated with me, but just tells me to make myself at home. As I'm putting my stuff down, I hear her asking her husband to run to the store and grab the Cool Whip. I can't hear the entire conversation, but he must have asked, didn't I bring it? Because next I hear her say, I asked for one thing and he couldn't even deliver. Nothing else was said directly to me, but there were a few passive-aggressive remarks throughout the barbecue, such as when her husband arrived, name brand in hand, calling him her hero. When the dessert was served, she made a comment about how it's made with real Cool Whip. OP, I don't know about you, but I would not tolerate this woman. I would have left and told her she's rude, but back to it. I don't want to make a scene, so I took it on the chin. I wouldn't have. Maybe I'm too old now, but I don't tolerate that crap. When talking to my girlfriend about it later, she said that her mom was overdramatic, but I shouldn't have called her to ask if generic was okay. Or I could have gone to a different store. I asked if there was really a difference, and she said she doesn't know, but it was what I asked to bring, so I should have communicated better. Again, this all sounds so stupid. Am I the beehole? Hi, OP. No, you are not the beehole. I buy generic brand all the time, and who cares? It's the same crap. It all comes from the same factory. Personally, as soon as I heard the mom talking crap about you, I would have confronted him and been like, "Hey, I'll leave. I'll just leave. You obviously don't like me. You don't want me here, and I believe in going where you're wanted, not tolerated." And she knows what she was doing, talking all loud like that. Of course she knows you can hear her. She just sounds like she's a bee. She just sounds like she's one of those terrible women who's just a straight up bee and wants to crap all over everyone like that. And you know she is because she's over here doing these stupid, childish, passive aggressive remarks to you that you don't need. Yeah, I would have taken my imitation brand Cool Whip and left too. The only time I care about name brand stuff is when it comes to electronics because I've been burnt before buying, cheaper versions of it, and that never ends pretty. I would tell your girlfriend what was going on and that she needs to have your back in situations like that and stick up for you because it sounds like she doesn't really care. OP, do you really want that woman in your life? Like if things escalate with your girl and you get married? You want that? You want that? You want to have to keep going to places and deal with her being terrible, looking down on you like that? OP, if I were in your shoes, life's too short to deal with that type of nonsense. I would just break up with her. It's up to you, but I'm saying I wouldn't deal with that. I don't want to deal with someone's mother who's a raging bee. So, OP, no, you are not the beehole. And you should have just taken your Cool Whip and left. Screw her. Thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. And can you please do what I said in the beginning? And like, comment, and subscribe. It really and truly does help the channel out. It helps it grow, and it helps you get more videos like this. Velvet out.